Living through a time of upheaval, we're seeing social justice movements, people asking not only their governments, but corporations to change the way we do things, bring about greater equality. Brian Gallant joins us now as the CEO of the Canadian Centre for the Purpose of the Corporation, also the former Premier of New Brunswick. You've done some research here. Explain to me what your centre is about in the first place and what you're finding. What do Canadians want from corporations?
Well, thank you very much for having me, Greg. This is an important topic, and it's an emerging topic as well. And the Canadian Centre for the Purpose of the Corporation and the team that we've recruited is going to try to provide some thought leadership to Canadians, but also assist the business community and any organization, really. Different entities would certainly be feeling a lot of the same types of pressures these days, as you very eloquently laid out in your preamble. So we're here to help. We're here to raise some awareness, and we're here to try to provide some thoughts on how exactly the business community, organizations, corporations, especially these days, have much of a focus, and how they can try to implement the concepts of stakeholder capitalism, making sure they're purpose-driven, and making sure they're really contributing positively to society in the eyes of Canadians. So the survey, to get to the interesting insights that we received from it, what I was really a bit surprised to see, in the middle of a global health pandemic and at a time when there's a lot of economic uncertainty, the top of mind challenges facing the world for Canadians are inequalities, environment and climate change, and inequity and discrimination. So these three challenges were on the top of the list in terms of how frequently they were mentioned. The economy was fourth, and healthcare was quite distant behind even a few other challenges. So this really demonstrates, we believe, that Canadians have these societal challenges top of mind. And the research shows that Canadians think businesses have to do more. They think all institutions have to do more, but that does include business, and they have high expectations that corporations and businesses will start to contribute even more and in different ways to tackle some of these societal challenges.
So, Brian, that's what Canadians are telling you they want in this survey, that they should put these businesses put in the interest of the community. But I remember when I took the securities course, I'm exaggerating, but the very first paragraph was something along the lines of, capital is fickle, it floweth to the jurisdiction with the least resistance, money will go where it is not being bothered. I mean, there's a huge difference in the mindsets here. How did your organization start to sort of approach that issue?
Well, you're right to say that the typical pressures on businesses and corporations have not changed. What we have seen for decades now, the focus on profits, the focus on making sure that we're able to give returns to shareholders, the focus on making sure that corporations and all business entities are providing jobs, innovation, and important goods and services will still remain. Those pressures are not going away. What this research suggests, though, is that extra responsibilities are being thrusted upon business. Expectations are being heightened with regards to what role business should be playing when it comes to societal issues and societal challenges. To the tune of the majority of Canadians, 55%, based on this survey, want to see capitalism reformed to be more inclusive, to be more sustainable, and to be fairer. And this really goes to the three top-of-mind challenges that they listed off in this research. So there is a huge appetite for change, and I think that businesses would be wise to heed this call, all the while, to your point, still making sure that they're profitable and they're meeting their quarterly targets. No easy feat, to say the least.
Not at all. You know, it's a fascinating topic. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I really hope we can have this discussion again. Thanks for joining us, Brian.
Thanks for having me, Greg.
Brian Gallant, CEO of the Canadian Centre for the Purpose of the Corporation, of course, also the former Premier of New Brunswick.